Halftime, I'm joined by the president and general manager of the Boston Bruins, Harry Sinden. And Harry, I'd imagine this is a night of many emotions for you. I know the organization is very excited about heading into the new Fleet Center, but you have a tremendous number of memories for this grand old building.
Yeah, I do, Sean. And as this game's been going on and the affairs we've had before the game with the alumni and the great players of our history, it's been growing, these emotions, and I'm sure I'm going to, by the time I go through the ceremonies at the end of the game, I'm going to feel pretty nostalgic about the whole thing.
We were talking before we came on the air that this whole event is that much more special because the Montreal Canadiens are here, and when you think about the Bruins in this building, you think very quickly thereafter about Montreal as well.
Well, you know, as fierce an opponent as they've been, they are our most cherished rival. We've had some of our greatest games against them, and we've... you know, it's just fitting. They opened this building in 1928. They're closing it in 1995, and it's just, they've been a wonderful organization that has nothing but respect from ours, and I'm glad they're here tonight.
And the question tonight, obviously, we're asking everybody is the memory that most stands out of the Boston Garden for you personally.
I have two. I have many memories, but I have two that stand out. One is, of course, Bobby's goal in 1970 to win the first cup for the team in 29 years. And the second was the night that Raymond Bourque turned over his jersey, number 7, to Phil Esposito so it could be retired, and began wearing number 97, or 77. And those two things I'll never forget.
Harry, thanks very much, and congratulations to the entire organization on a great night.
Thank you, Sean.
We'll have more from Boston Garden in a moment.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Boston Garden. It's the last hurrah. We're at halftime, and we're pleased to be joined now by the managing director of the Montreal Canadiens, Serge Savard, who has experienced this Bruin-Montreal rivalry as both a player and as an executive. We talked with Harry Sinden a while back. He told us before we came on the air that it seemed like to him the only time the Bruins could beat Montreal was after you retired as a player and went into management. But your memories as what it was like to come in here playing for Montreal at the Garden.
Well, Boston was really the main rivalry with Montreal with all those years, and you know, we won more than our shares of, especially in the playoffs. But a couple of times we were lucky, but this thing's been reversed in the last 5 years. But I have great memories of some great players that played in the Garden and with the Bruins, and especially Bobby Orr, that I admire a lot, and I think he's the best player ever that played this game, at least that I've seen.
I know a lot of people in this area share that opinion. Serge, any particular game or moment for you personally that stands out as you reflect back on your experience here at the Garden?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint one game that I'll be a little bit selfish, but I would say it's in 77, the last game, the Stanley Cup playoff, that we won the cup here, and I did replace Yvan Cournoyer as a captain that year, and the cup was handled to me by Mr. Campbell, which was his last time. He retired after that.
Well, thank you for being with us tonight, and good luck to your team this season.
Thank you.
We'll have more from Boston Garden in a moment.
The story.
Perhaps the greatest Garden moment came when Bobby Orr completed a perfect give-and-go from Derek Sanderson to beat the St. Louis Blues in overtime, a goal which clinched the Stanley Cup for the Bruins in 1970. Also on the ice at that time was Bruins forward Ed Westfall. During a recent visit to Boston, Ed and our own Derek Sanderson took one last look around the Garden, and here now is an encore presentation of their tour.
Well, the paint's a little bit newer, and some of the names, Ray Bourque, as you get a look at that, that's different. I can remember sitting down and near that corner with Eddie Johnson, the goaltender, and Bobby Orr was next to me, and of course we had Jerry Cheevers. The goaltenders didn't really like to sit together. And then down here where I couldn't see him half the time when we were in the dressing room was my old friend Derek, the pivot, known as the pivot. And that's because he was my center iceman for all the fun years that we had here.
Always great.
And it all started here in this dressing room. Who was sitting around here with you?
You're sitting where Phil sat, Esposito.
Yeah.
Chief sat there.
Johnny Busey.
Yeah, and it was whoever they brought up from the minors.
Yeah, always sat next to you.
Shaky Walton was the famous
Well, yeah, because
one.
you could smoke in the dressing room.
Yeah,
And
you did.
smoked, and they always put a rookie there because he couldn't complain.
No, well, I mean, they had 7, 8 cigars in this room going.
Well, they were all right, yeah.
Yeah, everybody had the cigars.
But
And in those days, we didn't wear glasses.
No.
No.
No, we didn't have a lot of things we didn't wear.
They're cheaters,
Our teeth were our own, and
Yeah, those
But
days are gone.
yeah, obstructed view in the dressing room, the same as they have out in the rink.
You know, the great reason I used the pillar was when I had a bad period. Bobby Orr would be sitting over there and he used to glare at you if you played poorly.
Yeah.
So I used to just kind of move up a little bit, and then Bobby.
Well, I knew that because I had to sit beside him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Bobby-
got abusive.
Yeah, he wouldn't put the. You look, if you played well, you sat over. Hey, Bobby, yeah, I played good. No, Bobby, I'm playing bad.
We were sitting here. We'd always kill the penalties. We'd be yelling at the guys on the ice, chicken, take a penalty. We needed more ice time.
Well, I would have preferred to play the power play, but
Yeah, well, forget it. You think Phil Esposito was going to let you play
No.
the power play?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. Remember when we used to sit here?
well, they
And
didn't
it-
have this.
yeah,
They didn't have
the mat.
the mat.
There was holes in the floor,
There were slats there.
Yeah. and every now and then a rat
And
would...
they never had that. And they
Yeah.
had rats that would come up and try to eat the popcorn and the food. They
Yeah.
would come up, and then you just get them. You get them.
It's like spear fishing.
Well, you had nothing to do if you were, you
Yeah.
weren't getting any ice time.
And they
or
weren't getting any penalties.
you're in the doghouse or whatever. You could get them. Yeah, those were big parts of this game.
Five
You can't
against
see
three.
a thing.
No. Anyway.
What about this guy now? What's this
Yeah.
guy gonna do?
How much would a guy pay for this seat, I wonder?
I think it's $16.
they'd have to pay me to sit in this seat. You
As
imagine
long as
that?
the team held it in, you know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
could
of
sit
course,
here like
when we
But what
played-
about this guy? Where does he sit?
Well, first you got no place to put your feet. How would you like to be the guy next to you? You're in his lap.
Yeah, if he's not a family member, you're in serious trouble.
Yeah.
I remember when I came here in 1965, played a game against the Oshawa
Junior
junior game against
They
Bobby
built
Orr.
it, you against Orr.
They told us they were getting a new building then.
Well,
Don't worry, by the time you turn pro, you get a new building.
well,
I never did get one. I played my whole career here.
61 when I got here, and there was only one tunnel in Boston. They were saying it then, so now they're going to make it a reality.
Ah, some grand memories, Fred. Eddie Westfall, one of the greats in the game. Played golf with him today. As a matter of fact, over at the Country Club with Don Callahan and Stan Mikita. Get a look at Eddie Westfall. He did that piece during last season for the Islanders. He's one of the greats, I'll tell you. This is his wife, Polly. God bless him. Nice man. Fred, I have to make comment on this. The ovation you got. You had to feel good about that.
Very nice, yes, sir. After all these years, that was a thrill. That was terrific, and very nice ceremonies, and more to come after the game. You'll be down there.
Lots of them. Yeah, well, yeah, all the guys are here. I mean, there's a ton of people. I mean, it's not just going to be, just the end of the game and a few hi how are yous. It's going to go right to her. But I tell you, I felt very good. You deserve that ovation.
Thank you
Hats
very
off
much.
to you.
And another fellow who deserves an ovation, Ken London. He's now with Kramer Productions, and we have Russ Ken and Greg Hopke.
Yeah. Greg Hoppy doing the game.
During the game. And
New team. Sean McDonough up in the box. Doing some wonderful interviews, bringing a little magic to the building.
Oh, it is a great night. Paul Stewart about to face them off. I remember when his grandfather was a referee in the National
I
Hockey
call
League.
him number 22. I don't think Paul's going to like that. I keep on using his name all the time. He'll be mad at me. Everybody in Hyannis Sports say number 22. That's Paul Stewart. I think Paul is, if not the best, one of the best officials in the game today.
Handling this one beautifully here. And for Ray Bork, ready to start it out in the second period, the second half.
Ooh, nifty little move there by McLaren.
Has good instincts.
Yes, he does.
But now it's full strength. Kobo is out of the box. And he is checked by McLaren and broken out. Never really was organized. Oates breaks away over the line. Stick handling, trying to sift through. And can't quite do it. Does center it. And McLaren, a shot on, a save, and the rebound. Tim Sweeney can't get it as he spilled.
That was a nice shot by McLaren. That was a difficult one to handle. That was a, I hope it hits me type of save by Patrick Roy.
Ooh,
And his head
McLaren
down
took
there.
A heavy hit there. And a breakaway by Recchi with Damphus back. And they trade passes, and Damphus missed the net. Each member of the line had a chance there on the pass. And down goes the final one. And the Bruins come right back. And a score by Mullen. Joey Mullen makes it 1-0 Boston.